evening. The meeting is now called to order. This is the Health, Aging, and Disability Committee meeting for May 24th, 2023. I am the chair, Councilmember Brigida Fields for the 5th District. At this time, I will call the roll for those members of the committee first. Councilwoman Maria Cabrera, Vice Chair. Councilwoman Yolanda McCoy.
Here.
Councilman Albert Mills.
Present.
Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver. Councilman Vince White.
Present.
Council President Trippy Congo. As a friendly reminder, only members of the committee should be making motions and seconding. The first piece of business that we will address is a resolution encouraging the Delaware General Assembly and federal delegation to appeal to the U.S. Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services and the Administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to revise CMS policies that create competitive bidding requirements for organ procurement organizations, OPOs. We have someone to speak to this piece of legislation.
Yes, good afternoon, council members. My name is Jerry Balmier. I'm here representing Science and Donation and Transplant, which is a nonprofit devoted to educating the community on the organ procurement and donation industry. And I want to commend the council members for this resolution right here. As we all know, a lot of times, unfortunately, we deal with disparity in the healthcare system. This resolution is dealing with disparity in the organ donation system. In 2019, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid put out rules that govern how and the method by which organ procurement organizations which handle organs service clients. They put out this report prior to a federally funded report done by the National Academy of Sciences, Medicare and Medicaid. In that report called A Fairer, More Equitable, Cost-Free, and Transparent System of Donor Organ Procurement, Allocation, and Distribution, recommendations were made by the NASM report of how to close the disparity gap and improve the system, especially for minority people in need of organs. This report was put out with clear recommendations, and what this resolution is saying is simply for the Center for Medicare and Medicaid to reconsider the rules that they put out prior to this report coming out. And if the council members know anyone in their family or their constituents that's ever gone through this process, it's a very personal process that organ procurement organizations deal with families at the most vulnerable part of a person's end of life, which should be a moment that's sacred and handled carefully. And what Science and Donation is saying is the system should be improved. The recommendations of the NASM report should be considered. And with the support of the Wilmington Council, we hope to keep pushing this issue so that the Center for Medicare and Medicaid will consider these rules and also consider these recommendations, and we can all work towards closing the disparity gap. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak before you today, and I enthusiastically look forward to the support of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from any council members? Okay, anyone online? I would like to recognize Council President Trippy Congo. Mr.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. I would just like to say thank you so much, Jerry, for bringing this to the community's attention. And this will be on June 1st City Council meeting.
Thank you so much for the support. We're a willing and able partner here to continue educating the community in any way possible. Everyone have a blessed of your day, and look forward to the passage of this on June 1st. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, and this is a resolution, so it doesn't have to be voted out of committee. Sorry about that. Okay, our next piece is a resolution in support of HB number 114, an act to amend titles 16 and 25 of the Delaware Code relating to recovery housing certification. And this is sponsored by me. So what the synopsis of this resolution is, the resolution expresses support for House Bill number 114, an act to amend Title 16 and 25 of the Delaware Code relating to recovery housing. Purpose, the certification of the recovery residents according to nationally recognized evidence-based standards. This important provision ensures that Delawareans suffering from substance use disorders have access to a healthy and supportive environment that is suited to address the needs of their recovery. I thought this was a piece of legislation that should be brought up, especially in our meeting when it comes to health, aging, and disability, especially when it comes to health. We deal with this on a mental health capacity as well. These recovery houses are most likely in our Black and brown communities, and there is no type of, it's Fair Housing Act. So, am I right? Fair housing?
That's correct.
Fair housing, so we can't say that we don't want them in the neighborhoods. However, when these houses are in a neighborhood, it's like they just drop them there, and there is no medical care or very little care given to these individuals. So one of the mothers of a son, her son was in a recovery house, and he didn't make it due to not having the medical care and stuff medical care that they had promised to provide for her son. So this is something that, she's very instrumental about, and I am too. And this is sponsored by Carrie Harris down there in the House. This is a resolution. Does anybody have any questions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to be added to the resolution as a co-sponsor.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, so Councilman White and Councilman Mills would be like to be added as co-chairs, co-sponsors. You got a comment? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I would definitely just love to be a co-sponsor as well, but definitely recognize the need for evidence-based treatments in our communities. And at times, like I said, they end up in our communities, and then the treatments just aren't there. And then them being in the neighborhood becomes a downfall, because there are a lot of drug and traffic areas in our communities, and that becomes the thin line. If you're going to have them in the communities, at least have these services that you said the families will be provided there. And a lot of times that's where these agencies fall short, and these the addicts, unfortunately, right back. They really even closer to the addicts than they were before, since you put them in the community at times. So I think that this is an excellent piece, and there needs to be more evidence-based. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCoy.
Yes, I also would like to be added as a co-sponsor for this resolution.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Okay, so this is a resolution. It doesn't have to be voted out of committee. This also will be on the June 1st City Council meeting. We did have Councilwoman Cabrera had a piece of resolution, but she's absent today.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, Councilwoman Cabrera is not here, but this particular legislation is going to be time sensitive, since your next committee meeting is after our last meeting for the month of June, and then the Delaware General Assembly session is ended. So if I can just read the synopsis, and if there's any questions, I try to best answer them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So basically, this resolution is just encouraging the members of the Delaware General Assembly to support Senate Bill Number 8, which is an act to amend Title VI of the Delaware Code relating to medical debt. Basically, it's going to put protections in place for patients regarding unfair debt collection practices for medical debt. In calendar year 2019 alone, roughly 71% of our population had at least like $10,000 in debt when it comes to medical bills. So this is just trying to encourage them to, to pass this bill to put some things in place. And we know that when COVID hit, it did put some undue burdens on many people.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor to this resolution.
Thank you.
I as well, Madam Chair, would like to be added as a co-sponsor as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from anyone online? Okay. With that not being said, this also will go on the June 1st City Council meeting. And if there are no more questions and/or concerns, is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting has adjourned. Thank you so much for joining today. Have a great weekend.
Bye.